together. All right. Out. Back. Go down to a walk. Grab a partner. My man. Back control escapes. These two gentlemen will demonstrate. So, hooks, uncross ankles, around. Top hand hangs. Just let the top hand hang. Bottom hand looks at the top hand. That's how we do it. CJ's going to escape. However CJ likes to escape. John's going to give him no resistance unless CJ asks for it. Then he's going to escape to a good position. Top, dominant, neutral, whatever. And then he's going to go right back. John's going to sit there. CJ goes, give me resistance, John. John gives resistance. When we say switch, CJ goes on to John's back. It all starts over. No resistance. This is time for you to move around. Feel free to talk, but don't sacrifice your warm-up for conversation. If you have to stop and look at them to talk, then don't talk. If you can talk while you're moving, keep moving. This is your warm-up. Go, I'll tell you when to switch. That same one again, I'll stop here. I'll give you an alternative. Get your lighter. Most people are going to pick you up and pull you to the other side. Okay, make sure you go all fresh. Now, you can hear stop. Instead of turning that way, drop your left elbow to the mat and swing your right arm up. Just rotate it. See how you got there? She's not going to be able to pick you up and roll you over. You're going to struggle, taking bumps, right over. That's just because you're going to be on the lighter backwards in the room. When you turn to hips. It's funny how that happens. It's funny how I teach that, right? You ever eat somebody's cooking and there's always this element of one ingredient and everything good, whether it's cooking or mashed potatoes? In cookies? Yeah, like, yeah. That's me in pressure. There's always an element of pressure somewhere. I'm like grabbing a detail with this hand. You're opening it. Yep.
So
You know I love butter, y'all. It's like, nah, you know I love pressure.
There's
There's gonna be an element of pressure in there somewhere. But the trick is though, when you get up there, you're gonna drop that elbow and swing that arm.
I can follow you for it. I can sink down with this arm.
Yes.
So it's almost like one of those. I can just turn it up real easy.
You want to get inside here.
But it really comes you on the pressure.
You want to get back here. Now, we'll never get back here. You have to do an amazing recovery. Yep, there it is.
Yeah.
As always, very
Pay no attention to
funny. Based on that cartoon.
This is a weird thing. Going down and this.
Yeah.
Feels very weird to do it if you get it. Once you're locked in, you're good.
Yeah. Switch at the beep. Switch at the beep. Switch.
That's where I met
I want to get back in this space. And as long as you stay on top of that space,
I was. So I could see
Is this the movement?
I would have to go this hand strong. Ringing out the wrist strike.
And I'll tell you where I see it.
Just spinning around it. So at some point when you're falling,
Where I go down. Yep. And so I can either stay on the wall or I can slide up there. Oh yeah, because I'm in the inside space.
I got you.
I mean, yeah, I'm gonna move the hand somewhere.
Yeah, you're taking a long way higher where I'm kind of rotating off.
Over under seat. And then just do push out. I want you to slide up. If I slide up like this, shut it down. Now I gotta fight to get on top of
Push this leg down. Come over here.
So by the time we
This is not a rush thing.
I'm gonna put my elbow down in here now because there will be a point in time where that space is no longer
Once
valuable.
you drop your right elbow down by his hip.
Once you start making your turn, that space is no longer
By his
valuable.
hip.
Now I just want to arm.
And then I wanted you to do this foot. And turn it.
Unless you're trying different things.
Do you feel that pressure?
And then it's free.
It's not a
Right
big-
here is where this space is no longer
Just taking
valuable.
your time. You're trying to get out of there so
Now
fast.
I'm gonna be
that
here
you're
trying to keep you on
moving so
top of
quickly
my
at the
center.
same time.
And as long as this elbow,
This should be like, we're talking about the Arnold
Over my
Schwarzenegger.
head.
It's like whittling wood.
Pretty good.
Nice. So here, peel this one.
That's it.
Walk over. No, see how you're hiking it? You know, if he does that again, just
Down,
go ahead. Push it. Boom. See how that worked, Art? Yeah. Now do this one.
prefer when you pay in that order.
Down. And arm bar right here.
Now walk up and stop.
smash. Face
But
and
she
arm
has a choking
choke.
lock. Hold it right there. Take this hand, push that off. Push the leg off. Now here's what I want you to do. Slide your body this way.
Does that make your wrist pretty uncomfortable?
Stop. No. Go back. Step one step. Put both feet like here. Let your body weight in the leg. See your body weight's on it. That's more difficult, right? Here's what I want you to do, Dark. Just slide the elbow. Just slide this way, drop that elbow, extend that arm and turn. So whatever side he goes on top. See how my elbows
See what's out there. See what's up.
Someone has to rotate and it's
Typically,
and it's just, they usually only live like 5 minutes from like.
typically I'm
You're almost set. Slid my shoulder.
Yeah. Yeah, so it's, that's right, because we're like, it's not
How much do you really weigh? What to do? Like a lot of like jumping movements. Because he's gonna take advantage of your space. He's gonna use you jumping and roll you, or you're gonna jump and he's just gonna answer. So, just like that sack arm bar.
That was better.
Being calm,
Yeah.
sliding my shoulders down.
Because on that side, you got like,
You got it. You round in and you're not being choked. Right.
yeah, the other side.
Especially if they had your back
Like
long.
too many steps. That side.
All right, guys.
Was over. Very pulling on that leg. But yeah, everybody was cool.
Alexa, volume down 1. All right, guys. Leg lock Thursday. We've hit the crescendo. We're gonna skip crushers and slicers because those can get. We're skipping them. We're going straight to the main course. For the dessert, huh?
Some of us
Some of us don't know them. Subscribe to my YouTube channel. Mr. Beast. Less cheering. Today, guys, so to reiterate the leg lock hierarchy, and we go by the option, the window you have to tap before you have injury. So, straight ankle lock, lots of space, okay? Depends on who you're with, depends on and how deep it is, depends on how much time you have before it really hurts. But most generally you have a window of opportunity. You see the straight ankle coming, that person's going. If you're in a tournament, please don't expect that window to be here because they're going to eat it and just take all leg locks, so there's not a lot of playing around. But in training, usually your straight ankle has a pretty good window. We've all felt it in here, and those of us who've done them. Oh, my ankle's being bent. Oh, I'm in this position. I can't get out. I should probably tap before my foot starts popping and things start burning and searing pain. Okay, toe holds. That window gets smaller. If you're messing around thinking, nah, I'm tough, I'm built different, and you're not, like that. Knee bar. You're not built different, you're not tough. If that knee bar gets locked in and you can't get your foot away or your leg away, and your training partner is being kind to you, don't take their kindness for weakness and think that, oh, I've got opportunity, this guy doesn't know how to finish, this lady doesn't know how to finish. No, they do. If they made their way to that knee bar that successfully, and there's nothing for you to do, you can't get away, they're just being kind to you. Go ahead and tap. Yep, good job. That was locked in, I couldn't move. Give it a wiggle. Just be like, oh, I can't. Oh, well, all right. You know? If they're being kind and not hyperextending your knee, yes, you have a little space. If they're going quickly, tap. Hey, so you know, tap their body. Hey, you're good. You got that, man. You win. Good deal. No worries. Back to practice. Okay. Slicers and crushers and things like that are just that. It's the sensation of a sharp bone into muscle. Right? Tendons, ligaments, bones. Forearm usually the one that can crush your calf. Your shin coming across the bicep. Those are painful. They hurt. It's up to you on how much pain you want to yield from your training. You know, sometimes you get a little, I'll just eat this and limp for 2 days. You know, usually it just messes with your muscle. It doesn't usually cause permanent damage. It's just a pain complaint. Okay? Now, if you resist it, sometimes it can go joint if they get deep enough and heavy enough that the leverage is, okay? Especially here. When my shin is sitting on your bicep and I'm pressing in with my hips, that's a lot of pressure for this elbow. And if you try to jerk the shoulder, you get tears on the shoulder, right? Tap, reset, go again, okay? Last but not least, we're gonna get into heel hooks. that much space for you to play with the heel hook. Maybe a slip, maybe that much. Papers width or thickness. The heel hook is meant to isolate the lower leg in a position against my body with the ligaments will begin to be twisted slightly, and then hip pressure pushes through ligaments that are already taut because you have put them in a taut position. So there's a little give here, not a lot. It's not meant to have a lot. This is this way. Your knee will go this way and this way. Your ACLs and your MCL, LCLs. These are these little ones out here on the sides. These are not load bearing, by the way. So don't lift people like this. That's not what this is for. These are stability. The ones inside are front and back, keeping this knee from just going any other way like a balloon. Okay? We're going to keep it in this articulation. Now, when I bend my lower leg like this, and it begins to turn, notice there's a rotation just a little bit. But then when hips push through that, when hips push through that, and then this way, everything that's taut is now going to get open. And if you already have damaged knees from sports or an injury before, and damaged knees like maybe some tears, maybe some weakness, maybe some laxities, sometimes being in the right position or wrong, however you look at it, is just enough to get that tear to go through. So, what you need to do is understand the mechanics of it, and today is going to be more of how do we get out of it versus how do we do. You're going to see how they're done, but rather than teach you how to do a heel hook, which most of you are probably not going to try because one, you don't want to hurt training partners, and two, not everybody in here has played with heel hooks before. So it's going to be like two little kids playing with a loaded gun, okay? So like, did you think it's really going to hurt? I don't know. Let me try it. Wow, I'm limping. Okay? Yeah. Let's talk about how to get out of it. And we'll reverse engineer this. Okay? All right. Let me borrow CJ real fast. So, heel hooks come from a variety of positions. Basically what happens is I isolate his leg. And this is our warm-up exercise that we normally do to get this ashi set up that we go for our straight ankle. And this is a good experiment because, or a good warm-up because it gets your hips high off the ground, grabbing your training partner. They should stumble back or even fall to the ground. So I come up. Yes, boom. All right, we're here. There's outside heel hooks, inside heel hooks, fancy Japanese names that sound like dirty words and all kind of stuff that you can do for this. Look that up, get a tutor, whatever. We're just gonna go into what the heel hooks do. You'll notice if you watch enough jiu-jitsu and MMA, you'll see people get this heel hook here, and then they start to bring this across. And while yes, that will put torque on the knee, that's not the actual mechanic. The actual mechanic is like we already discussed. When I hook the heel, I'm sticking it to my rib cage. Here, that's tightness. He's already putting his hand down because he feels it. My knees pinch, and what happens is I'll bring this taut, and then I'll start to hip into his knee, that fast. He doesn't tap when he feels the pop. He doesn't tap when he feels the pain. There's a lot of times there's no pain. There's no sensation of my knee is about to pop. It just pops. That's why this is considered a pretty high risk in training, especially if you're going with someone who just has zero brake and all gas. Okay. That is, if you tear your ACL or totally separate it, then you're looking at 6 months to a year. Conservative. Given your age, all this other stuff, it could be more, it could be less. And so the knee is never the same again. You'll get a very good range of motion back. You'll get back into training, but it's not going to feel the same. Okay? So what you need to do is when you play these, let's talk about what we're doing here. So I'm locking this here, boom. Or there's different ways people lock them up. Some will come here. This might look odd, but this is way tighter than the one I just did. CJ can testify, that feels stupid. And at this point, all I would have to do is hit forward. Let's do a little experiment so I can show you. Most of you guys have seen this. If I get here and I keep this stuck in my body and then I get forward, it creates the break. What is the foot supposed to do if I get forward without me holding? See what it did? It went from this to straight up. Now that you've seen that, imagine I keep it like this and I blast that way. The foot says, I need to go straight up or everything's gonna go poof. And when you don't allow it and you hit that way, things are just gonna go poof. Okay? So, enough doom and gloom. Let's talk about a little silver lining in the cloud and how we can get this out. First and foremost, you're gonna hide the heel. And what CJ is gonna do is instead of having his foot bent, he's gonna slip it. He's gonna straighten his foot to hide this heel so it's difficult for me to get a catch on it with my forearm. Doesn't mean he's out of the woods because I can reach over and grab the heel. But when people come here like this and they start reaching back for this, if he straightens it, and then if I don't control this, like he pulls his leg out, boom. And then he's gonna hide this. So he pulls the leg out and he can just tuck it under my leg. That's an easy way to keep me from being able to leg lock. Now I gotta adjust. First thing you're gonna do, you're here. Usually it starts as an ankle lock. They can pull this to expose the heel. CJ's gonna straighten his foot and just try to slip his heel, boom. It's a motion like this, straight, and you try to turn it. So you're gonna go straighten it and try to slip it off that forearm. And that's gonna keep that heel from getting exposed to a degree for a moment. None of this stuff lasts forever. You can't sit there and just play hide the heel for 5 minutes. They're gonna figure out a way to get to that heel. Case in point. If I'm here with CJ, and he straightens his leg, and he hides his heel. Straight. Yes. Like, if I can turn and get underneath it, maybe, I might be able to do this. But one of the things that really helps me in getting his heel exposed is bending his knee here. Because now, as I lean up, and a lot of heel hooks end up here, mind you, I'm up on my shoulder, I'm on my temple, and now I've got it hooked. Okay? He's already ready to tap because there's a lot of pressure there. Okay? So, in these scenarios, be ready to tap, and if they start to bend your knee like that, which causes that heel to expose, just know that if you get to that point, you don't know what to do tap. When should you tap? When I get here, and you feel this, and I go here, but most of my heel hooks are here. And I just wait. CJ will either tap or he sits up. He's like, how am I getting out of this? And I sit here and I look, I don't finish. He hides that heel. I say, cool. I grab his leg. What I don't want CJ to do is I don't want him to think if I slip my heel, everything's over, I'm safe. Because there's going to be guys and people who train who are like, nah, we're going to that next step. So for the sake of your growth, I want you to slip that, but then still figure out how you're supposed to get out of this. Okay? One good way of getting out of this is keeping that straight. Don't protrude that heel out again, and then jumping across, just like you got out of that ankle. Okay? Another way is, and I tell you this so that you guys can understand. You need to roll sometimes and do a push with one foot as you extract the other foot, right? And I keep it straight because we're hiding the heel. We're extracting. Please, please, please go slow. And if this is something you really want to file away in your repertoire, it's a wrench. Practice slowly and with someone who's taking their time with you, because the unfortunate part about the rolling is if you roll the wrong way, you're going to tear your own ACL. I won't be the one that has done it. You did it to yourself. If I were here with CJ, and I'm here, and CJ for some reason rolls back, where's his heel gone? Into my forearm, deeper into it. And he twists his own knee in an explosive, I'm gonna step over. He's gonna tear his own ACL. But which way am I going with this? Am I going this way or that way? I'm supposed to be holding it tight to my body as my hips go forward, but most people will grab it and roll. So CJ rolls with the pressure, and then he tries to get that leg out, CJ. He'll put his foot all on my legs, my butt. There is no right or wrong as long as you put your foot on them and straighten this foot and pull, push, pull. Yes, and gets that out. Okay? For an example of which way not to roll, watch the UFC fight between Ryan Hall and BJ Penn. Watch that. BJ Penn is a legend. He got his black belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu in 2 years, 2 or 3. A master. Got in an MMA fight with Ryan Hall, who was known for only spamming heel hooks. This dude was in the UFC like 4 fights deep before somebody knocked him out. He would just play around in Berimbolo and what is it? Imanari roll into heel hooks, and they knew it was coming. This was like day 1 UFC 1. It was like Royce Gracie all over again. But yet in today's modern MMA, he would just drop into these rolls and grab a leg and heel hook. It was the Ronda Rousey of heel hooks. It was like Ronda Rousey was grabbing armbar. Yeah. Ryan Hall was doing this very one-dimensional thing. Had 0 to no striking, but could get that heel hook and was good at it. Point being, watch that fight. Send a message in the message group if you like, or just come back and let me know what you thought of that fight. I'll let you just watch that and see what happens. So, when we're here, CJ's got my leg. Whichever way he wants. You get it. Okay. So we're here, right? He's got his feet inside. He's in this setup. I already feel the tightness already. I actually feel it in my heel. I feel it very tight in my heel. I feel how his grip is and how he's got it secured. I feel it in my heels. It's nice. I feel my ankle twisted. But you know what it's doing? If I move this way, I feel pressure. If I move that way, I feel it loosen up. Rarely do you have time to think which way, okay? So, here's an easy way to think about it. Which way are my toes going? Okay? Now, I will tell you, that works if he has his legs isolating one leg. Okay? Let's look at a different position in the inside. That is considered an outside, but then we can look at it inside. Okay? So that is saddle. And you can just yes. So when we look at this, we look at inside and outside. My heel was on the outside, facing away from my body. Now my heel is facing inside my body. And if CJ gets this one, yes, this is rough, right? Which way are my toes pointing? That way. Why is it that I don't think why should I act and not even try to roll out of it?
He's got pressure on your hips.
He's got my hip control. The second or two that it takes me to try to lift and go, he's gonna just pressure down, and then it's gonna happen. It's already getting time. The only real way you're gonna find some success here, right, in escaping is we can reach up and pop that heel off, pop it off our heel. And then we can slip our heel and we can come down here and do our little cross, put this outside foot on top of that foot to make it more difficult. Does this stop him from attacking me? No, all these are delays. Okay, so I'm here. I need to come back and get these feet off my hips. This considers what we call a 50-50 situation. His legs coming across this way, my legs coming across that way. We're evenly matched up. We each have our own opportunities. Okay? Well, what did I do to get that off? Do we remember we were doing a technique, praying feet for the topo? And remember when we were stronger when we laid back than when we sat up? When CJ has his feet here, if I'm sitting up, I can't clear his feet, he can press me down. But if I hands on his feet and I pop them up, I can slide them over. Use his leg to climb up. Boom. Now, okay? The reason I haven't shown you to use your hand to pull that off of your heel is because that's the initial reaction everybody has. So reach up and grab that wrist and pull it off. You need to know other techniques just other than that. because even if CJ locks me in, and let's say I come up, I'm already turning because I feel the pressure. This might not be enough, because what happens if I pull this off, but then CJ takes his other hand and grabs the heel? And it's still there. The pressure's there. His feet are off of me, so now I know I can turn and make a push, get my heel away and run. But what if his feet were on there? I'm in a seconds to moments type situation. Just that, okay? So, get with your training partners. Here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna get in that heel hook scenario. We're just gonna get the prep. We're just gonna get the grip and sit there. I want you to try to slip your heel. So you're here, maybe your heel's out here. I want you to straighten, right? Try to slip it off of the floor. Do that a few times each. Then what you're gonna do is you're gonna get in that scenario. They're gonna have one leg on the inside, one leg on your hip. And when they try to go for the pressure to move it, I want you to slowly come up and roll out of it. Training partners who are holding the heel hook, if they roll out of it successfully, let it go, okay? But what I want you to do initially is I want you to get a tight grip. Go around and help everybody out. I want you to get a tight grip so they can feel that pressure. You're just gonna feel the tightness. You're not gonna feel what the pressure is like for the actual finish, but you will get the idea from the tightness. Any questions? All right, let's get with our training partners warmed up with on three. 1, 2, 3. So do me a favor. Put your foot, this one, on the inside, like a regular, think of like an ankle. Put his legs on the inside. So a good way to do it is step back, step out, stand up, lay on your back. Yeah, you want to finish that. Yes. Now you're going to try to do that. So you bring your, yes. So right here is lock your hands. Just lock your hands right there. That's fine. This is good enough right there. Do you feel it in your knee? Or do you feel it in your Achilles? I feel that too because the pressure is rolling. Now guard it. Very slowly. I want you to put your knees down. Do you feel it in your knees? If guard were to lay, look up at me. Yes, very quick. And he's going nice and slow. So guard, when you do that, here's the goal. Keep it tight on your body. You're not trying to rip it across your body. Just keep it tight, hit your knees. Very slowly start to hit it. I mean, up a ring. Get that. Like that. So you're here, here's what I want you to do here. Fall to your side. Now, is that what you're doing? You were being nice and you were sitting up. You were putting so much tension in your body trying to stay upright. The real finish was you fall to your shoulder, and now hipping it is super easy, but you also lock his heel tighter on his heel. So now, I want you to work slipping the heel and maybe rolling out of it. Rolling your shoulder. Yeah, I've been listening. And so now, here, this deal is a matter of taking the heel, not under left hand over the, under the heel, over the leg. Yeah. Right. Trying to get it down under the heel. And so from here, I can just take that over. See, TK? Without letting it slip. I want to keep it. I'm taking the elbow to the style down and under farther. Oh, yeah. It seems tight already. So, and when I start here, now, stand on it. So fall to your shoulder. Now slowly. So what happened is we're sitting Push off. Push off.
Because most people I see them
Hey, bring it across.
So that way I can make sure that literally all the parts
They're just
under my arm
And if you bring this foot from one side to the other, you know why? Bottom leg doesn't rotate. You lock it close to the body, and then you pinch and push through the knee. That's great. Somebody sees something and they think that's how it is. That's not how it is. You know what I'm saying? So, lots of times, you're like, oh, I'm supposed to do this, right? Like that, that's fine.
now, you know what, you have here,
So, right here, make it start slipping there. Yes. Now, okay, all the way out of this. Either go down there.
Tell me which way, sorry.
And then I should get all that. And then just kick it off. That's really put this one up again, or even before that, wrapping it more. Pull that up here.
You're gonna want to, you want it to slide.
Whole plant over here. Also, slip, not forward from there. Not as
not as efficiently as my sneak train.
I gotta get a feel, I need a feel here.
It's not always the end all here, but it also kind of slows down there here. So like up here, grab that and slip your heel. And from here, in here. And I never know under if you wanted to. That's a lot of fun. So yeah, they might, you know, like, you're still unknown areas. So you have to step over. So one thing is when it's out here, can you take your right leg?
So as soon as I feel the slide,
Yes. And then from here, you're start
Well,
working.
that right the first time,
Yes.
but you know what it was? The foot was the.
as I work down, do not trap the arm anymore, let it be parallel.
Yeah.
Because you'd already slipped out. Right, so I think if your foot's this way, you gotta go that way, so like you're twist your knee. But if it's, you know what I'm saying? I think that was the difference.
Switch your ribs. Now you're pulling up into it.
Right, like right now, I
Down this way. Right. And now, pinch your knees. Don't slide it to your elbow. He can slide out that easy. You need this forearm, this hard bone under the elbow. So slide your elbow. Yes. With those toes, that feel tighter? Oh yeah. Pinch. So, keep, go back to that? Okay. Now, here's the thing that you can, so your hips going through is really where it's gonna start to mess with it, but you can't from this position. You gotta pinch your knees. Can you roll up on your left shoulder? All the way to this. Now from here, keep it tight, tight. Pinch your knees, pinch your knees, pinch your knees, pinch your knees. He's already tapped before you get anything. Now, that'll work, lifting that heel from there, but for it to be super effective, two things happen there. You roll up on your side, but your body weight creates more pressure on that lock, so it's tighter. Your knees finish, and your weight is laying on this knee section. Being on the back, it doesn't really hip up so much. Being on your side, you can hip up a lot. You can
Think
hip
about
forward a lot.
bowling, like that's right there.
But for the escape, he slips the heel, grabs the hands, and there you go. I'll show you how this works. You get that lock in this. Go around the heel. Slide that. Put your forearm under the heel.
I was trying to do this, you're here.
Middle of your chest. I got it. That's okay. CJ sits up. He's going to grab your forearm with both hands if he can. He's going to pull it. Notice he doesn't go one under, one over. He goes both of them over to pin it on your.
This point is for,
Now
you have three, I'm still controlling it, but you're.
Yes. And if he rolls this way, he can bring his left leg back. Left leg back. Just underneath. Like that. And you move yourself up to a position coming up. Yes, up on his elbow. Now, his foot's underneath you, you can't really reach back and grab it. Punches his foot to a start, you're gonna walk to a guy. Yes. Now you're crunched underneath. So, you're gonna like go. You guys.
This is all. This is good. The only question you're having to go back.
I can do that.
Once you slip the heel, you're like, you still got the fall. So the heel on the ankle, so the pressure's off a little bit. You wanna go over or? We get it like you're pinned in like this, but once you slip and you're like this.
Alright, here's what I want you to do. Both hands up, I want you to grasp. Pin it to his leg. No, just feel it, like yes. See how you slip the heel?
Yeah.
Keep this here, right? Alright. Now, what I want you to do is this. I want you to, if you can, I want you to take that heel, punch it as far as your slide. Now, can you lean towards me and put your right foot on your
Like this?
Yes, sir. Now, are you able to come up onto that knee at all? So at this point, your heel's safe. Yes. Keep going. Keep going. Take your hand close. Now push your weight on top of it. It's an awkward position. Nice.
You gonna quite sure what it feels like?
You see where you are now?
Yeah. Yeah.
So go back.
And then.
Go back, go back, go back. So what you do when you grab?
Just like you.
I'll show you this as you fall. So he's in here like this, and I'm sitting up right here.
This foot will not be on the
I can come in here like this, just be free. But I want to hold it down.
fall.
Right? Boom. Into the feet. They get potentially. I'm pulling it in. So now, if you slip like this, my heel goes under his body. Protect. Then I'm going to lean forward here. I don't really have to keep both hands on the side. Just like this. Because it's not, and I want to be straight forward here. Oh, yeah. Then it goes back to a leg lock. But I keep this here. I come up to that knee, and I start to put my body weight on. Did you guys try that yet? Try that. Try that.
There. Can you make sure I got it right?
So here. Yep. So Dart's gonna reach up at any moment he's gonna grab that pin. So if you didn't have that locked in yet, guys, don't wait till they have it locked in. If they're setting it up and you're just saying, hey, let's drill, you can enter him in. As soon as you see them do that, you grab it. And just hold it like that, right? So you just jump.
Yeah, get on that, your left knee.
Oh, yeah.
And then I have your toes.
Yeah, so
Did you roll that?
your left leg, just kick them out and get to the knee.
So tight.
And you know why I this? Because you show down how far you bring your hips up from here. But if you go like this, you might have to go really far.
Can't see you. Sure. And then I get this under you, as much as I can. I get this behind you.
And you know what you got.
And then from here, I climb under this knee. Got it? And then I go ahead and
Especially if you're going slow. If they get out of it, in your mind, you're going. The hard part, guys, is when you put it on.
Alright, so I'm here. This is under.
The caliber of the training partner trustworthiness is going to be
The
measured
two hands
on whether or not
pull.
you let go when they go the
This
wrong way.
leg kicks under. And then that, yeah. So this is wrong.
Lean up onto that knee. You want to go one behind you, now go into the cross facing and get in there. Guys, as you do this, one of the things I was telling these guys is, in this controlled environment, we're really learning, what it feels like to be in these situations, right? And you're learning how to deal with the situation. partner, it is important for you to understand that to be a good training partner, and I'm not talking about a street fight or a competition, what I'm talking about in here, to be safe for our training partners, I take it upon myself to understand the situation that we're doing today and getting the heel hook, understanding the mechanics, so that if I'm rolling with someone who doesn't know and they go the wrong way, I can really feel that pressuring into my forearm and I can let go. And I don't just let all the way go and let them get away. I will let that heel slip and I'll grab their leg and I hold it to my chest. Because at that point, me holding the leg to my chest doesn't lock it in with the articulation of that heel. They can move their leg around, right? And it's not bending their knee, breaking their knee, unless they already had some damage in there and they're just getting all right, break. But for the most part, just holding it means that they don't run away and you end up on bottom getting smushed like you just did when you grabbed the forearm and cleared that. And then the rolling as well. So, lots of information on this, lots of drilling. I suggest not just because you want to know how to heel hook people, but I think what's more important is knowing how to get out of the heel hook. Because once you can get out of the heel hook, then you're going to know what you need to do a good heel hook, right? Because you're going to know, dude, I slip my heel every time. And I'm like, can't let them slip their heel. I do that all the time. Boom. But knowing that when your training partner is about to go the wrong way, and I watch people sometimes try to roll out of heel hooks, and they actually start to go the wrong way, I'll let it go. Or as they go to step their leg over the wrong way, I'll either throw my hand or throw a leg up, and I stop them. That tells them they can't go that way. Sometimes they're stubborn and they keep trying to go that way, and I just let the heel hook. Then afterwards, I'll say, hey, you're here, don't do that. Go that way. Okay? Because in reality, if I was that guy, I can just be like, go for it, cowboy, do it. They're gonna step over it. I'll be like, I did nothing. You broke yourself on this. You crashed yourselves on the shores of my heel hook. All poetic life. But I just let it go. And then I transition to something else. Is that wrong? I don't believe so, because in my thoughts and my philosophy it's this. I now learn how to transition out of a failed heel hook into something good. So I'm still drilling, I'm still doing progression. It's just that I didn't tear my training partner's knee to prove the point. But I still came up, still got in a good position, because people will, even though if you train hard and you go into a competition where there's heel hooks and you're like, all right, I'm gonna get this heel hook and I'm doing it. They'll slip out of it, because they probably train a lot of heel hook escapes. So these guys who just throw a heel hook and then the person slips out of it and they don't know what to do from there, they are just stuck on the mark, okay? The real thing I want you to get is exposure to this so that you can understand what it's like, so that if somebody does it, then you're like, okay, I don't have to like scream out loud, oh my God, down. Oh, are you okay? Yeah, that was a heel hook, I'm scared. It's like, okay, you know, face your fear. Do it with someone you trust, drill it, talk about it beforehand. If you're rolling with somebody you've never rolled before and they look like they have experience, have a small conversation. John, how you doing, man? It's nice to meet you. Welcome to the academy. Good to have you in the training school. Cool. Where'd you train? Here? Oh my gosh, did you ever do left here? A little bit. A little bit? Okay, all right. Well, I don't know a lot of them, so keep rolling. You find one, just hold it, don't extend it, don't finish it. I'll pass, okay? Yeah. But that's cool. I mean, I don't know a lot, so please. I got a family, I like to walk, you know what I'm saying? That's just that fast. And it's like, all right, cool. Or I go, John, did you leg lock? You're like, no, bro, I've never done. I said, me neither. Let's stay away. Gentleman's agreement, nothing below the waist, right? Or you just gotta get those things going when you use them, okay? Any questions? All right, on three. 1, 2, 3. And a foul. Get off guard.
Good work.
Oh, he hasn't quit his job yet? He hasn't decided to become a full-time jiu-jitsu athlete?
That's the goal, man.
People out there like that, you need to look up some more Paul Hart.
Yes. Be together.